right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and the viewers are smarter than the average bear. Sorry for the long wait, my people. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Twitter. What the Jesus Christ. Sorry, Rockfinners. I just closed the browser. All right, but we're here. Welcome. Let's talk about some things. Rockfinners, I see you. Brenda, Osama, William. Salt Lakers asks, my main question is to anybody, is it possible to save the planet without fascism? I don't know. It's a decent question, I guess. Doubt we can save it. I listened to a really interesting conversation with somebody on another podcast yesterday who was basically saying there's no way to save civilization, and he wasn't even talking about climate change. I think there was never a mention of climate change, but he was just based on history and based on human behavior. We're not going to make it out. Right? So, and if fascism is the only way to save the planet, is that the way we want to save it? And that's the problem, is that, humans, his argument, which I thought was an interesting one, and one that actually I totally align with, is that you're not going to get enough people together to evolve enough or quickly enough to actually save it. There's too many unconscious souls out there, which is why some people might resort to fascism. Right? It's well, we know better than you. All are just a bunch of cows. And you don't know any different, somebody tells you to go this way or that way, you're oh, okay, I guess I'll go this way then, right? You don't know shit from Shinola, as they used to say. So we're gonna take things from here. I don't know. I mean, that's a great question. That's a great philosophical question. Does anybody know what's going on as far as the fact that Israel is apparently controlling our policy as regards to protesters in this country? I mean, if Israel owns all the politicians, if Israel can basically marionette us around like puppets on a string, who's in control? And they don't actually, those poor put upon Israelis sure actually look a lot more like jackboots, don't they? Look a lot more like Holocausters. Zionists, Nazis, it's all the same. It's all the same. And so that's I guess that would be puppeting, marionette. No, that's not right. The hand does not go through the bottom of a marionette. That's incorrect. That's what is that called? That's ventriloquism. A puppet is a hand up. Marionette is this. You saying it's not a marionette situation? Yes, exactly. I got you now. Sorry, it took a little while. Um, Dummy. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Gigabane. Yes, please press the like button, share. People on Twitter, please let me know you're watching. Israel uses American politicians as sex dolls, and we're all fucked. Man, I heard a really. I listened to a very interesting broadcast the other day. It was an interview with a man who was born into a satanic sex cult and abused beyond belief, horrific abuse. And the scary thing is he made it seem like it was a regular everyday thing. Plenty of powerful people were all in on it and coming to view, witness, participate in the activities. That was a worldwide phenomenon. And guess what? This guy was Jewish. So I'm assuming his family was Jewish. But just interesting. Just saying. I don't know. Just interesting. Just interesting. I mean, supposedly Jewish, but actually satanic. Actually born into a satanic sex cult. It's wild, man. It's freaking wild. It was a wild story. And when he was describing his abuse and what happened to him, again, he made it seem like there were lots of other people involved, lots of other children, lots of this going on. It was international. It was an international syndicate, which is very frightening. But probably something along the lines of what is controlling this planet at the moment. And so, you can the names Nazi or Zionist or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's the same people, right? So I don't know. Let's Netanyahu says trying, convicting, and executing him would be an anti-Semitic hate crime. But man, satisfactory, wouldn't it? Oh, is that anti-Semitic? Oh God. But wouldn't that be satisfactory? By the way, yeah, the ICC wants to arrest Netanyahu, and our Biden administration is getting in the way of, or actively blocking that. Sweet. Thanks for the tip on Rockfin Hempcar. Hempcar says unarmed demonstrators were attacked by police and National Guardsmen in Ohio, Kansas, Wisconsin. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about all that. Kansas, Wisconsin, Illinois, New York, California, and Puerto Rico, as well as Mississippi and North Carolina. Thousands were beaten and injured. Hundreds were wounded and hospitalized. At least 17 were killed. Is this this from the war at home? So is this from a former situation or a current situation? That's what I'm trying to. Yeah, I think you're right on though. You're good. Thanks, Hempcar. Appreciate it. Yeah, it seems like that situation is repeating itself. And what are we going to do about this? I'm so sick. I'm so sick and tired of people calling this contrived, coordinated, and something, something, something. Jesus Christ. I mean, certainly the response to these demonstrations seems to be coordinated. Seems to be uh, coordinated. Bella says it would be like using. Hold on. Most horrifically anti-Semitic act of all, Netanyahu somberly intoned, would be for me to be executed. Well, that would be really anti-Semitic. Woo! Jokes write themselves. It would be like using such anti-Semitic phrases as cosmopolitan elite or dual loyalty or new world order. Okay. Yeah. Facing the facts that Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli agent and that Israel killed the Kennedys and did 9/11. Abraham Lincoln, anybody? I'm going to lose another YouTube channel. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're skating on thin ice here, but hey, there's always Rumble, I guess. I do have my Rumble channel. I just don't know if they're going to charge me to live stream or not. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But this is wild stuff going on here. And I woke up this morning. The first one I saw was at UCLA right here in Los Angeles. Just widespread, massive amounts of violence. And what they're saying, well, in UCLA, pro-Israeli protesters were allowed to come in and basically womp on these protesters. Yes, that is a good quote. If you want to know who rules over you, just look for who you are not allowed to criticize. Fed chair speech in 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we know what it's going to be, right? But let us know. Let us know what he has to say. Salt Liquor says fascists using hired fascists to tell the fascists not to protest fascists. Exactly. 200 plus pro-Israeli counter-protesters are attacking the UCLA pro-Palestinian encampment. They started beating on one student and stomped another under a plywood board, according to the LA Times. And Safi Nazal on the scene where is UCLA security? Yes. Basically, people are saying they were allowed. They're calling it violent clashes, but they allowed the police just allowed. I also saw that the police beat up one of the protesters at UCLA pretty badly and would not allow medics to come attend to this person. Violent clashes are breaking out between pro-Israel and pro-Palestine protesters. UCLA with fireworks along with multiple items being thrown with injuries. I don't know. I hear stuff like, oh, we're like they're generating this to what? To it's interesting because there have been a lot of people predicting like a civil war this year, right? The old Civil War talk. I need some more coffee. Jesus. Predicting a civil war, and who but I think people thought it might be right. Who was it was that was saying like if Trump gets elected there's going to be a civil war? I'll say what? I mean, I think people thought it was going to be between the right and the left. It is between the right and the left, but it's has a totally different look, right? These pro-Israeli people, I don't somebody was calling them alt-right, but they're just right-wing fascists. But like, are they Trumpers? No. Are they MAGA? No. No. They're not. But did you see this playing out like this? God dang it, I'm having a hard time. I have so many tabs open. Every time I hit Rockfin, I close the tab. Sorry, guys. You guys still good on Rockfin? I just get really just I mean, okay. So people think this is all being are being duped into some kind of stance on the war in Gaza. I just find it just like, come on, man. Come on. You are taking everyone's agency away when every single thing is coordinated and induced and literally marionetted. There's people they're just puppeting everybody. Nobody has any agency whatsoever. I mean, that's the ultimate demoralization campaign. So check yourself. Alternative news channels that are like, it's all coordinated. Okay. Listen, man. Listen, bro. People are pissed. Been pissed about this. And, one university starts doing a protest, another, it's not hard. There's a thing called social media. It's not hard for other students to coordinate themselves along these lines. Hey, they're doing this, that we should do this too. Hey, let's all do this. Am I right? Is that hard to understand? Do you think these kids want to be beaten? Do you think they want to be expelled? Do you think they want classes and graduations to be canceled? No, they don't. No, they don't. What they want is for genocide to stop. It's kind of simple. Like, let's go back to Occam's razor, please. Please. Salt Liquor says on some YouTube channel I saw this morning, there was some lady saying how the protests were going to summon the Antichrist. Really? The protests are going to summon the Antichrist? I thought that was the red heifer. I just like, come on, man. Come on. There's just... some things in this world are freaking real. Jesus Christ. We cannot, you cannot exist in a world where every single thing, every single person, anybody ever, who ever runs for office or who is mildly famous or anything, does anything whatsoever, somehow, some kind of MK Ultra, CIA, mind control, demoralization. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. At some point, that shit gets a little bit like over the top. Let's go back to simplicity here. We obviously know that the government of the U.S. is, the brick wall behind the red curtain. And it's been that way, right? It's been that way. And, going back to the quote I read earlier about, if you want to know who really controls you, right? And a lot of these cops are trained in Israel. They go to Israel for training. It's just fascism. It's just straight up, people, whenever people band together and try to do something and they get their heads bashed in, making it very apparent what kind of system we live under, which is not a democracy. Then you gotta kind of sit back and wonder what it is you're really going to do about it. Anyways, that's my rant on that. But I'm so tired of hearing people say shit like that. Allow people to feel what they fucking feel, right? I mean, even the I talked about this the other day, right? Bernie Sanders, think what you want about him, but how people felt about that was real. It was real, right? And they did their very best to demonize all those people and to make them seem like bad people and put the ick on them. Allow people to feel what they feel and allow people to organize. Allow people to like a political candidate or a leader. Allow somebody who might actually be somewhat authentic to lead. Allow it to be real. Jesus fucking Christ. We're all going to sit around and just armchair quarterback our way into nothingness. This is why everything is so bad, because everybody just surrounded armchair quarterbacks into nothingness. Anyways. Let's see. Denver says, this is how someone I know put it. It's a spontaneous thing, the protests are, but the Hasbara goes to work to polarize the situation. What do you mean? It's a divisive narrative. I see Jews banned from the campus and shit like that. Jews are not banned from any campus. What actually is true, you would have to be there to know. The algorithms in the media are optimized to show whatever gets the most outrage. I mean, I guess, but I just, I get a little bit. I get a little bit fatigued because you cannot allow people to organize or to. I mean, the media already does enough of that for us as it is, right? The media already does enough of dismissing movements and people and sliming them and slandering them, right? Do we need to help that? Do we need to help that along? Because I feel like that's what it's doing. I feel like at some point when you're pointing out the truth of things, but that every single thing is somehow coordinated and manipulated and like nothing is real. Nothing is real. It's just like I don't know. I don't see the benefit of that. I do not. I don't see the benefit of that. Surely people have organized in the past, right? Like, and yes, they've been infiltrated. And yes, they've been co-opted and all that kind of good stuff. But the initial organization was authentic, you know? And they want to just beat these people. I mean, this is basically just beating people into submission. Do what I say. They don't want it to get out of control. They don't want any, right? This is when they're like, when you come up against the brick wall behind the red curtain, this is what happens. It's like the Occupy movement, right? They went out there, they were camping, protesting, and it was kind of a movement, right? And people were really excited about it. And what did they do? They didn't address any of the issues, and they didn't want it to turn into a bigger movement. So what did they do? They sent the riot cops in and beat heads. And people were like, shit, just don't fucking beat me anymore. Okay, all right, we'll stop. That's the simple explanation for this. That's all you really need to do to know. And you should be livid, incensed, mad as fuck about this shit going on. You should be absolutely outraged, enraged, ready to fight. You should be mad as fuck about this. Instead of like, well, I think these are kind of coordinated. And everybody, they're trying to get you to get out there and get into civil. What the fuck? What the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, way to chop off people's energy at the kneecaps there before anything happens. Just go home, just sit down, just go home and just sit it out, guys. I think that's the best way. I think that's the best way for everybody. Just shut up and go home and sit it out. That's what they're trying to get you to do. That's what the people in charge are trying to get you to do. But your alternative media journalists are telling you to do the same thing. You should stop for a moment and go, what are you fucking saying to me? Dudes who know everything? What the fuck are you talking about? You're trying to get me to go home and just sit down and not do anything. Just like CNN or anybody else. Or Joe Biden. So, way to go. Way to go. I mean, that goes for everything else too. Climate change. Climate change is a hoax. Just don't. It's stupid. It makes me wonder. It just makes me fucking wonder. Sometimes, man, it just makes me wonder, and I've said this before, and I know I don't make any friends doing this. I don't make any friends saying shit like this. It makes me wonder. When people do shit, when people kind of say stuff that's like low-key, getting you to shut up, not care, go home, pack it in, not organize, not protest, not care, not do anything, just sit around and lament and complain about shit, I have to stop and go like, what the fuck is actually going on? Anyways, that's it. That's my big pontification for the day. I'm just like, what is the real demoralization campaign? Anyways, that's all. But this is pretty wild stuff that's going on here. This is in Tampa. Just seriously, question everything Everybody, even the people that are telling you to question everything and everybody, question every fucking thing and every fucking body. Question them, especially if they're on the internet. I mean, I believe all of you all are like real people watching the show, but seriously, sometimes I'm like, okay, people in the chats, people who are, or show up in my chat. So, some of you have been here forever. I know you're real people, and I know who you are. But like sometimes I question people in the chats that are saying certain things. I'm like, all right, I'm sure that's just how you feel. This is in Tampa, Florida. Looks a lot like
this is
campuses.
Insane. Look at the tear gas. That is the
40
tear
years
gas.
ago, right? 50 years ago?
Oh my god, this is insane.
That's so ridiculous.
Oh!
Shooting rubber bullets.
Look at him just running away. Yeah, where are we going now, huh?
Florida cops are using
dude,
tear gas and rubber bullets on
it.
students at the University of South Florida.
I called it. You're gonna do like tear gas smoke.
Denver says, my point is, as long as people pay attention to narrative management rather than unified action, we are fucked. I did premise with what I said originally. This is what a buddy of mine said. No, I'm cool. I'm not actually. I'm reading what you're, and I'm picking up what you're putting down, Denver. I hear you. This is just me, like, just having a general thought about. I listen to a lot of alternative media, and a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and a lot of it I do agree with, but there's a moment I have moments, I have some moments when I'm listening to alternative media, when I just have I have some very profound, deep-rooted kind of like, like, because the general vibe is like, shut up, don't do it, don't organize, everything's fake, don't support anybody, don't support any candidate, don't support anybody, don't do everything is controlled, manipulated, and on some levels, sure, there is a lot of manipulation going on. But, sometimes people organize for real. They actually do. Sometimes people have real feelings. It's just, I don't know. And maybe that's an honest, authentic feeling for the journalists that I'm listening to. Maybe. But I don't know that they're not. I don't know if they're seeing how demoralizing what their message is, how actually totally in line with the powers that be it is, which is shut up, sit down, and take it, fucking take it, and it's gonna get worse, and don't do anything about it, fucking take it. Like that's the messaging. It's just like, all right. That's really radical or something? Okay. Alejandro Caraballo, it's so incredibly clear that the police stood aside and let a pro-Israeli lynch mob run wild at UCLA. They did nothing for 2 hours as violent Zionists assaulted students, launched fireworks into the encampment, and sprayed mace on students. This makes me so freaking angry. Well, that's what they want you to do is get angry. Okay. No. It just makes me angry. Seeing people beat the shit out of old ladies makes me fucking angry. That's how you should feel. You absolutely should feel angry about this. Jesus fucking Christ. You should feel angry enough to do something about it. Jesus fucking Christ. And if you want to go do something about it, bully for you. Fuck yes. I'm behind you, bro. 100%. Sorry that I'm yelling. Shit just makes me fucking mad. Fuck. And you should be mad too. You absolutely should be incensed at this. You absolutely should be thinking about ways to end this situation, change the situation for the better. Yeah. Imagine protesting genocide at a university named for a genocidal colonizer. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just so, yeah. Anyways.
Free Palestine!
There was another, Jesus fucking Christ. People are throwing fireworks into the...
Oh, great. Here comes the cloud. Oh, great. Here comes the cloud.
What the hell?
NPC, no place in this world. Fuck you.
You have no place in this world? They're like beating this dude with a stick? What the hell?
Why are you out here by yourself?
This is wild. So wild.
Hey, stop! 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 Stop!
Riot police attacked peaceful protesters in Georgia using water cannons. Why am I showing you this? I hope this makes you really angry. I hope this gets you super freaking mad. I hope this fills you with as much rage as it fills me. Democrats are pro-Hamas? No. Right. Republicans are pro-Jewish? No. It's weird. I don't know. I see a lot of... This is a protest in Georgia. Yeah, it's horrible, Gene, right? It's horrific. Dems are the pro-Zionists. Yeah, at least the ones that are running for president. Yeah. No. I don't know how you can actually parse this into right or left. It seems like people who are traditionally liberal or democratic leaning are very upset about what's going on in Gaza. However, there are Republicans that are upset about it too. It does seem like the right is more pro-Israel leaning, but all I see from all the Democrats is they're pretty pro-Israel too. So it's hard to really distinguish right or left on this. You either support genocide or you don't. You either understand that Israel's a bunch of fucking Nazis doing Nazi things, or you don't. And if you don't, you're on the wrong side. You're on the wrong fucking, then you're a fucking Nazi, right? What happened to the, can't wait to punch a Nazi crowd, right? Remember when Trump was elected and everybody was like, "Oh, punch a Nazi." Yeah, well, let's get to punching. Anybody gonna start punching soon? Huh? Let's just stop calling them Zionists and call them what they are, Nazis. They are not Zionists. They're just Nazis, and they're not victims anymore. You're not a victim anymore. You are a fucking perpetrator of violence and oppression, and you should be treated accordingly. Jesus freaking Christ. And if everybody just sits around and watches this in horror, it's going to keep on. They don't care. They don't even care. They're just going to keep on going. They just keep going. They're just going to keep on killing people, probably kill you too, until you're like going to say something. Hey, don't kill me, you freaking fucking Nazis. That's anti-Semitic. No, you're a fucking Nazi. It doesn't really matter. Steph C says all of my liberal Jewish friends became conservative in this war against Gaza. Became conservative? Yeah. AIPAC will spend an astonishing $100 million in political bribes this year alone. This is election interference on a scale America has never witnessed. Every politician receiving these bribes should be trialed for treason and locked in prison, which I agree. I agree with that sentiment. Isn't that nice how that works? They buy all the politicians get in office and send Israel $3 billion every year. And then they take some of that $3 billion and they take $100 million of it and buy all the politicians. See how it goes? And it just keeps on going, right? Who owns who? Do we own them or do they own us? Does it really matter? Do they own us or do we own them? Anyways, yeah, fuck these people. Like, if you're a voting type, I would go vote out anybody who takes AIPAC money. Anyways. I would start trying to organize something that would get AIPAC money out of Congress. Make it illegal. Bar it. Make Israel register as a foreign agent, right? Wasn't that what Kennedy was trying to do before he got killed? And that's real. Or that's Israel. Yeah. I know quite a few Jewish people are very, very pro-Palestinian. Yeah. I know many of them. They're not the Nazis. Yeah, AIPAC is not registered. Nope. In Columbia, this is Columbia University. Sorry, guys, this is just a very important. Obsolete says, I'm not just anti-Semitic, I'm anti all religions and ethnicities. Oh. I can't see my Twitter watchers anymore. I'm back. Was I gone for a second? My apologies. Y'all still watching on whatever it's called these days? Or did it get cut off? Oh, it's still going. Okay, good. Great. Yeah, you're still watching, even though they're telling me that nobody's watching. All the channels are telling me that nobody's watching. Right. That's great. That's awesome. Total Wine got to stay open during lockdowns, yeah. Anyways, man, I'm just ranting and a raving here because this is pissing me off. Meanwhile, back in Israel, does anyone think Kevin really exists? I promise you that I do. I've actually, and here's how you know I exist, because I've met a few of you in person. So I know a few of you. We have hung out, and I'll also ask Hambone. Hambone and I have had lunch. We did lunch in Los Angeles one time. It was cool. It was delicious. Rafah is being decimated. There's nowhere else left to go. Israel is now bombing more than 1.7 million civilians trapped in Rafah, Gaza's last place of refuge. A massacre is happening in Rafah right now, and the world is silent. It's not a war. They're not fighting anybody. There's nobody fighting them. They're just in there bombing innocent people. There's not a fight. There's not a war happening, okay? There ain't no war. Where is Hamas? Where's all the fighting and the shelling and stuff from the Hamas? Where are all the captured Hamas people they got? There's no fighting. There's just killing. That's actually real, Fresh Air. That is real. Oh, no, I'm saying I'm not. don't be offended now. I'm not calling you all nobodies. I'm saying y'all people are watching, but they're trying to make it seem like on Twitter they're trying to tell me that like 2 people are watching when I know there's more than that on Twitter. It's just interesting. Same with YouTube. They do that on YouTube. They're trying to tell me like, 10 or so people are watching on YouTube. That is absolute bullshit. as absolute bullshit. But it's very effective. It's very effective. Oh God. Sorry guys, I'm doing too much clicking and clacking here, so Rock Finners, if you are interrupted, I apologize. You will be made whole. Joseph says, I do not identify as a hairless talking monkey. That's good. I would not identify as such either. But, it's probably what we all are anyways. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, I was going to show this. That's what I was going to. I live by Columbia. Tonight I went for a walk and saw 10 plus blocks rapidly barricaded, dozens of police vehicles flying by, large groups of NYPD in riot gear gathering. I study protest in Eastern Europe. What I saw tonight was some of the most wildly disproportionate policing I have seen. Look at that tank. Y'all see that? Tank full of cops going to beat up some students. Yeah, what is that indeed? It's a double-decker tank bus. Gene, you were trying to explain evolution to somebody and they were skeptical of it. Are they religious? I don't know. Evolution makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not religious though. I try to stay that way. I'm going to try to stay not religious. I'm going to tell you that you should absolutely be incensed at what is happening on these campuses. Absolutely enraged. You should absolutely have those feelings. Count them as real. Science doesn't support evolution. You guys are funny. You guys are hilarious. Wild times, right? Am I right? Very quickly, if you enjoy the content on this channel and you enjoy watching it every day for free, Monday through Friday, try and I'm bringing it to you personally, yeah. You know that song? I love that song. If you enjoy it, please consider supporting the show financially. I sure could use it. And all the links are below: PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, coffees, etc. And thank you to all the people that support. All the coffee subscribers, Patreoners, etc., etc. Thank you. You guys are super cool. So many of you already support, and I appreciate you. Yeah, hairless monkeys are pretty hot. Yes. Some of them are pretty hot. I definitely agree with you on that one. Man, Denver, did you watch did you see that broadcast with Jimmy Dore, the guy who was talking about how Google is, rigs elections? Did you see that one? I think that's what you were referring to. But maybe not. Yeah, that those episodes. What's that guy's name? It's Epstein something. His last name is Epstein. I forget his first name, Steve or something. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, go back and watch those episodes of Jimmy Dore when he interviews the guy that's talking about Google rigging elections. It's very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. I wish I could remember his name. He actually has, that fellow has an organization. You can actually be involved in auditing Google, and you can be involved in tracking Google. He has a whole organization set up to like basically prove what Google is doing. And I think it's pretty great that he's doing it. And I think you can sign up to help in that endeavor. I think you just need a computer. Oh shoot. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody here. I think maybe tomorrow, guys, we'll do. I think we might do a watch along with Nate Hoggins tomorrow. Maybe that's what we're going to be doing, unless something more insane starts happening. I don't know. Where is it? Where's the one I wanted to bring to you? Okay. United States sanctions 1/3 of the world's population. Now the United States is threatening to sanction the International Criminal Court over potentially issuing arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Israeli war criminals, which they absolutely do. I absolutely support that. Somebody is doing something, for crying out loud. Thank you. Internet. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Nate Haagen-Dazs. It's actually a pretty it's an interesting video. I don't know. It's something a little bit different. This is what I was looking for. So So it's funny. The National Review is saying issuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu would be a grave mistake. Really? Would it? Would it be anti-Semitic? Or maybe exactly what somebody has to do. Maybe China can deliver it. Or something. Let's see. This sounds like some propaganda, which I don't want to read. This is the Times of Israel. Let's look at this for a little bit. I know I started late, so we're going just a little bit later. Ukraine had an arrest warrant for Biden? Really? When? For Biden? Biden keeps giving them billions of dollars. Why would there be an arrest warrant for Biden? You love propaganda, Salt Lakers? Yeah, well, yeah. I came to the right place because I'm going to give plenty of propaganda to you every day, okay? I'm not giving you propaganda. I'm giving you the opposite of propaganda. The opposite of propaganda. Why am I giving you the opposite of propaganda? Because YouTube keeps squashing me. And Twitter keeps squashing me. Should be proof to you right there. U.S. lawmakers threaten retaliation against UN court over potential Israel arrest warrant. Axios reports legislation already being worked on. Several nations said to urge ICC not to charge top Israel officials with war crimes for fear it may endanger truce. Hostage deal and a hostage deal. Okay. U.S. Congress members from both parties have reportedly warned this is a bipartisan issue. We're reaching across the aisle in a bipartisan way to tell them, you better not issue an arrest warrant. That would be bad. Amid fears that such a move could sink a hostages for truce agreement in the works between Israel and Hamas. The Axios news site reported Monday that U.S. legislation on the reported warrants has already been worked on, citing House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul, a Texas Republican, is expecting a bill to sanction ICC officials. We hope it doesn't come to that, McCaul was quoted to say. Well, we hope it doesn't come to that. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson slammed as disgraceful the ICC's reported intention of issuing baseless and illegitimate arrest. You know what? You know when something is absolutely true is when the mainstream media or politician calls something baseless. You can go ding, 100% fact. You know that's how it works. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Obsolete, yes. Yes. There's a pervasive belief that propaganda is something used only by the enemies of America and that we are immune. No, we get way more propaganda from our own government than we do from our enemies. But that's why the Russia narrative works so, right? Because everybody's like, oh, Russia is so bad and they're propagandizing us and there's Russian misinformation. No. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep going. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson slammed as disgraceful the ICC's reported intention of issuing baseless and illegitimate arrest warrants for alleged war crimes against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and IDF Chief Staff Herzi Halevi. Such a lawless action by the ICC would directly undermine U.S. national security interests. Oh, Johnson said Monday. Really? If unchallenged by the Biden administration, the ICC could create and assume unprecedented power to issue arrest warrants against American political leaders. That's what they're worried about. That's absolutely what they're worried about. Why? Because every president has been a war criminal since way back when. That's absolutely what they don't want. If unchallenged by the Biden administration, the ICC could create and assume unprecedented power to issue arrest warrants against American political leaders. I wish a motherfucker would. American diplomats and American military personnel, thereby endangering our country's sovereign authority. Please, please, ICC, please issue some arrest warrants for some political leaders here. I dare you. Representative Richie Torres, a staunchly pro-Israel Democrat. Aren't they all? Huh? Am I right? They're either staunchly pro-Israel or pretty pro-Israel. There's no other options. There aren't any other options other than staunchly pro-Israel or pretty pro-Israel. That's it. That's all you get. Also criticized the potential warrants, calling for strong consequences from both Congress and the president, according to the Axios report. I guess maybe we need to go bomb the ICC, right? Maybe we should take them over, give them some democracy. Show them who's boss. Also Monday, a Bloomberg report cited unnamed sources familiar with the matter as saying that the U.S. and allied nations were worried that if the ICC issues warrants, Israel could back away from, the hostage deal. This is bullshit. Absolute poppycock, I say. Absolute horse manure, this whole hostage deal, right? Why? Because it's like, the hostages, the innocent hostages, they're using the hostages as a human shield for the ICC to not issue an arrest. They might mess up this negotiation for the hostages. We wouldn't want that. Safety. Yeah. Anyways, a hostage deal agreement currently under negotiation that would see a 40-day pause in fighting in Gaza and the release of potentially thousands of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails in exchange for 33 of the hostages held by terror groups in Gaza since October. Well, that's a hell of a thing to hold over them, right? Well, you don't want to do that. You don't want to disrupt that, so don't do it. What's the over-under on that actually happening, guys? The report said G7 nations had begun a quiet campaign to dissuade the court from issuing the warrants without specifying which countries were involved in the effort. Is that a quiet campaign? They said they're going to sanction them. That's not very quiet. That's pretty loud. An Israeli official told the Times of Israel on Monday that if the court does issue arrest warrants for Israeli leaders, it would lead to a wave of anti-Semitism around the world. I don't think so. I don't think so. Palestinian people are Semitic people, so. For one, and we're not talking about, everybody knows this is not about like just Jewish people, right? We know that, right? The official explained that this was not an Israeli threat to walk away from the talks in case of an ICC decision, but rather reflected Washington's belief that international pressure on Israel could remove pressure on Hamas to make compromises necessary for a hostage. Oh my God. The issue of potential ICC arrest warrants was set to be discussed in Tuesday afternoon's cabinet meeting in Israel as the first item on the agenda. Okay, and then I guess I've gone on a little bit long here, guys. I'm sorry, hold on. I got lost here a little bit. Let's see if I can find this. Thing with Netanyahu. Probably not. Breaking America threatens International Criminal Court. If you send an arrest warrant to Netanyahu and his ministers, there will be no ceasefire. Don't arrest a genocider or we'll keep genociding. It sounds about right. Thanks, The Truth. I appreciate you. I don't know if I'm going to find this or not. So, anyways, we all know that Netanyahu is a complete lunatic. And saying that, well, you can't arrest me, that would be anti-Semitic. Or maybe. Absolutely correct. The correct thing to do. Maybe a lot of people, you know, that the people of Israel don't even like Netanyahu, that they want them to go, that they feel, just as we do, that we're being run by a bunch of criminals. So maybe it would just be anti-authoritarian fascist genocider. That's what it would be. Not anti-Semitic, but anti-authoritarian fascist genocider. That would be correct. All right, guys. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thank you for hanging out with me every day on the interwebs. I appreciate you. And we'll see you all tomorrow, the regular time of 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And thank you for the conversation. Until next time, peace.